Santa Monica, California is building affordable housing at north of $1 million a unit. But don't fret. This includes a $600,000 pickleball court. Can't make this stuff up. Let's get into it. Here we go. When you're talking about San Francisco reaching $800,000, $900,000 per unit to build affordable housing, and then you go, but that's cheap compared to Los Angeles. Santa Monica, north of $1 million per unit. And now they're dicking around with, well, let's just make it into a pickleball court. It's an interim use. The pickleball court is an interim use, but I mean, the whole thing is just, you're left with like, what? How is housing that costs? That is the production cost, $1 million. That doesn't even include profit if a private developer were to put this together. You'd need to be up at $1.5 million to have all the room in it that you need to actually incentivize somebody to make a little bit of money, right? Otherwise, you're just paying straight wages. Here you go, guys. Let's build this. $1 million a unit. Not affordable. So this notion that we just need more affordable housing, well, it doesn't exist. It does not exist. You don't have it, right? So why are we building it? Well, I just need some more housing. Okay. Yeah, whatever. You only have to look at Santa Monica to find out why developers love building affordable housing. And that housing is so expensive, even those designated affordable. On a downtown lot where Santa Monica has spent nearly a decade trying to build affordable housing, temporary pickleball courts were approved and opened in less than half a year. Let's get some pickleball out there. People love pickleball here in Washington State. People love pickleball, just love it. Greatest sport of all time. I used to play it as a kid because it was a thing. Yeah, it's kind of fun, but I mean, that much different than tennis? Balls are different. Yeah, whatever. Property valued at around $600,000 for the new courts is the same site slated for construction of a $123 million affordable housing project. One that now expected to break ground in 2027 at a cost of more than $1 million per unit. So this is housing that you're going to house people down on their luck, homeless people, those kind of folks, right? You hear the left always say, we just need more housing. We hear progressives always say, if we could just build some more housing. Well, at $1 million per, let's take California, state of California. State of California has 187,000 known that they could actually identify homeless people. Let's round that up to 250, right? 250. Let's cut off. Let's just say there's a handful of couples in there, down to 200,000 actual units of housing you need. So you got 200,000. This is just in California. You got 200,000 units, 200,000 homeless folks that need, that the left is always clamoring, need their own housing because housing first. Oh, you got people in the housing and their whole lives work out instantaneously. No shenanigans. Just boop. Yep. Sober. Yep. Gonna go get a job now. Never happens, right? So you got a couple 100,000 people need housing in just California at $1 million a pop. Are you kidding me? Run those numbers. You tell me where they're going to find $200 billion to build all of this absolute ridiculousness. So $200 billion. I mean, that's absolutely absurd. Nobody has that kind of money. So why are we building it at all? That's the question of the hour, right? Affordability is a scam, as Newsom would say, full stop. Yeah, there's nothing affordable about $1 million. And probably $1.5 million per unit if you were to take into consideration one tiny little segment of capitalism, which is profit. But hey, don't worry. Government's building these units. And, they're going to be done. They're going to break ground in 2027. How much more is it going to cost to build these bad boys by then? And why is it so expensive in California to build? Well, you've constricted land costs. Land costs are expensive. all of the costs, gasoline, super expensive, #1 in the country. The wages you have to pay to your employees, and public projects, affordable projects, usually have 5, 6, 7 different sources of funding. They got all these layers of nonsense. They need to have union workers a lot of the time. And everybody that's working on this public housing, affordable housing, has got a hand in the pie, right? They got to get their little bit. And it's just, and general costs in California are through the roof. And so anybody who works on this is going to get paid more than you get paid elsewhere to make this happen. And every time you have a delay on one of these projects, the price goes up because it's time, cost of money. And so this notion of affordable housing is just so absurd. It does not exist. Full stop. This thought of, we'll just keep doing this. What could go wrong? Santa Monica Pickleball and Paddle Center opened this spring, but its use of the lot will be short-lived. A larger banner outside the property makes that clear. The site remains designated for an affordable housing complex, now in the pre-development phase. The site, once home to parking structure number 3, has been the focus of redevelopment debates for years. In the 2000s, City Council approved demolishing Big Garage after determining that needed renovations were not cost-effective. So, man, Santa Monica has been dicking around on this for literally years and years and years. How much have the costs gone up? A ton. But that's just government for you, especially West Coast, Best Coast government, right? Everything is super expensive because you put all of this crap into building something. You got to have a permit. You got to have a review from here. You got to have this. You got to have that. All of those layers make it more expensive to build. Where you don't have that, you don't have those layers upon layers upon layers upon layers in the areas where the population is heading. Florida, Texas. Those are your 2 prime examples. They just blow and go. They put stuff up. They build stuff. You've still got relatively affordable land. You haven't constricted the land supply. Granted, some of that has to do with geographic constraint. West Coast, Best Coast is always wedged in between the ocean and the mountains, right? So you've only got these little areas you can build. But then you take progressive ideology, which just makes everything more expensive. Everything within the system becomes more expensive. Gasoline, when you've got the highest gas costs in the United States. Anything you need to transport, anything requiring fossil fuel is gonna be more expensive because California has its own special blended, herbs and seasonings, right? Because, we want to be, ahead of the curve on climate control. When in fact, they're not really doing anything. And this is not having a measurable effect other than costing those in the middle income brackets and the low income brackets. It's regressive taxation. You guys are going to pay more for gasoline so we can be virtue signaling and clean. And it doesn't do anything for the environment at all. It's absolute nonsense because they're not able to bring in their own oil. So they get more than half their oil from Brazil. They're cutting down the rainforest. That's perfect. That's really climate friendly. Or they're bringing it on big oil tankers from Saudi Arabia, the ones that come in just billowing black clouds of smoke. Yeah, those. Yeah, that's where California gets its oil because it doesn't have the pipelines to bring it in. And their refineries are leaving because it's not conducive to be a refinery in California. California is just absolutely crapped on the gas and oil industry for decades. Here's what you get, guys. So since then, city leaders have cycled through multiple redevelopment proposals. Each fell through. Judge granted the motion. Boring. Then the property sat vacant for nearly 3 years while people sat around and did a circle jerk. $123 million for 120 units. December of 2024, Housing Division filed a change of use permit. Now the lot is active again. The plans also include a full service grocery store. Oh, this is prime. This is epic. But we'll get to that. The proposed development will provide affordable homes for low-income families and individuals who live or work in Santa Monica, along with 50 units reserved for people currently experiencing homelessness. Housing first. We're just going to throw them in a unit. Should work out fine, right? They're doing crack. They're doing meth. They're doing fetty in a tent. And then 1 minute, you put them into housing. And all right, good luck with that. Pure insanity. Plans also include a full-service grocery store. Okay. All right. So, got 120-something units? What was that? 122 units. Almost half of them, homeless people, living in tents, doing the drugs, doing the doobie, whatever it might be. Right? And then you're going to put them in a housing project. And right below, you got a grocery store they can rob from all day long? Oh, sign me up. This is Shangri-La for the homelessness, right? Got a grocery store. You got 1,600 something square feet of community benefit space, which could be offered to a local nonprofit. Here's the things they come up with. Local nonprofit, Santa Monica Police Department. Is that because you got a whole bunch of homeless addicted criminals in this project and you just want to have the police right there? I mean, so that they can arrest the criminal homeless from when they shoplift? Yeah. Or another public use. I can't think of a good one there. Despite the ambitious scope, get this part right here. Despite the ambitious scope, we're going to spend over $1 million. We're going to have the police in there. We're going to have a free grocery store. Shouldn't say free, but that's what's coming, right? Mondami and Katie Wilson here. Oh yeah, free grocery stores are great. The body putting this together has not yet secured funding. There's no funding for this thing yet. Okay. All right. Construction is expected to begin in winter of 2027, marking the next phase. So over $1 million a unit. There's no real funding. It's currently a pickleball court. You might have some cops there. You're going to have a grocery store that's just going to get absolutely robbed. And this is somehow what we're led to believe is an affordability option for the 187,000 homeless people living in California that are a known quantity. That all of that, you want me to believe all of that? Doesn't seem reasonable, does it? Because it's not. It's absolutely, it's insanity. Here's a second article. Santa Monica affordable housing site becomes home to a $600,000 pickleball court. This is proposed. This is renderings. Here's where the grocery store would be down below. They would just get absolutely rocked by the homeless coming in there. I mean, it would just be ideal, right? Just, hey, what could go wrong here? We see it in Bellevue. We see 100 and whatever it is units of housing. We had our second male get anally raped in Bellevue. 2 anal rapings in Bellevue since beginning of 2025 in the last couple of months. What's going on? That's some weird stuff. It's like, what? What is happening? Well, when you put a bunch of whacked out homeless on drugs and you expect them just to, figure it out on their own behind closed doors, sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes they'll be arguing in the bushes next to the complex, next to the homeless complex, like right over here. They'll be arguing in the bushes. One guy will dump some vodka on the other guy, and they're laughing, and they're having the greatest time in the bushes. And then the other guy stabs him and kills him and steals the $3,000 that the one guy has on him. True story. I mean, absolute true story. It's just like, what's going on? And then dudes are getting raped. Dudes, men. Yeah, because they're on the fetty. They're on the hooch. They're doing the fetty fold. But let's go ahead and build them per unit over $1 million each unit of housing. The one thing from this article here is if construction begins on time in 2027, the downtown lot would have spent more time empty in the last decade than as a pickleball court. And that, my friends, is how you get to $1 million. You have so much of a convoluted, absolute shenanigan-laden construction process, and everything is so ridiculously expensive to produce in California. That's how you get over $1 million. San Francisco, same damn thing, right? Same damn thing. Why is this small affordable housing project in San Francisco costing $1 million per unit? We've been through it. It starts with the building permit. It starts with just layers and layers of bureaucracy. And we know that city-run or county-run or state-run housing, because it is such, they don't want the liability, so they require a bunch of extra stuff be built, a bunch of extra layers of stuff in the home in each unit gets put in there. And then you've got permitting, and then it's California, so everything is super expensive to build. Everything has that progressive layer of cost associated to it. So this misnomer, this absolute misnomer that politicians can positively impact affordability in housing is a complete lie. There is zero ability for our current politicians to actually reduce the cost of housing. It's just 100% crap. You would have to build such massive, massive numbers of housing. You'd have to absolutely flood the market. And even then, you're not building affordable housing because it's going to cost XYZ to build, right? Especially in these West Coast, Best Coast cities. $1.5 million is not affordable. How many people can afford $1.5 million? That's with a profit. Very few. Very few. So why are you calling it affordable? Why don't you just call it really expensive entry-level housing? Outrageously expensive entry-level housing, because that's what it is. Because that's what the market dictates. And with progressive policy layered on top of that, that's what you get. Really expensive per unit costs that you can't bring down, because you'd have to basically eliminate the entire system as it is now, start over with way lower land costs, way lower development fees, way lower everything, way lower wages. Those people would have to be in housing. Your workers have to be in housing that's way less expensive in order to pay them less. Everything is reflected within this. So the idea that there's such a thing as affordable housing, that's gone. You kissed it goodbye. You know where there is relatively affordable housing? Yeah, states where people are moving. And it's become more expensive because you got so many people like, I think I'll move there. There's fewer shenanigans there. It doesn't cost $1 million per unit for homeless housing, right? Because that is pure insanity. That is just. When did we go to $2 million per unit? Yeah, right. Let's try and get it there. Come on, Newsom, you can help us out. Let's get to $2 million per unit. I'll podcast that. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, share with friends and family. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.